Hello everybody. So here's how to create the Power Automate desktop solution for our AI clipboard solution. So first of all, if you haven't already got it, you'll need Power Automate desktop on your machine. When you open it up, you're able to create a new flow. So we'll do that now. And we're going to call it clipboard AI and click create. Give it a moment and it will open up in edit mode and it will open up our canvas. If you're not familiar with Power Automate Desktop, all your actions are down the left-hand side and you can search for actions. There are many. And when you do create things, all the variables get displayed on the right-hand side. So first, we're going to go through step-by-step the solution and create each step. The first thing we need is a label. Labels in Power Automate Desktop allow you to move to and from, so they help with the navigation. So if you put a label at the top, I'm going to call it start again. That means later on in our flow, we can refer to this label and jump back to it, which is what we're going to do. The next one we want is wait for shortcut key. So when this is complete, we will run the flow, leave it running. And whenever you press the shortcut key that we're about to define, it will move on past this stage. For our shortcut key, we're going to do Control Shift and the left key, just because I found it was, oh, that was right. The left key, just because it doesn't seem to be used for anything else, and save. And there we are. So when I click that shortcut key, Control Shift and left. When I click that shortcut key, the flow will move to the next step. So the next step we need is to get the information that's on our clipboard. So I'm going to get clipboard text. Simple enough. You can give your own name to these variables. This is when it hits this stage, it's going to get whatever on your clipboard, whatever you've copied or Control C and put it into this variable in the flow. We're going to leave it as is. Now I want to display a custom form to build up what I'm going to send to the AI, to build up the text and request I'm going to send to the AI. So this is going to present a form to the user, display custom form. And in that form, we're going to add a few things in order to display it to the user correctly. So first of all, we're going to add a choice set input that I'm going to call action input. And on the label, I'm going to choose the action you would like. Obviously, you could name it however you want to. Style, I'm going to put expanded because that makes it into a selection rather than a drop down, but you could have either, it's your choice. And then we need to add what values we want. So you can add a title. So this is what as you can see in the preview here, what the user sees. And then you can add a value. Now, this is what, as we build it up, is going to get passed in our webhook to the AI. So answer this question, reply to question. I'll add another one. Summarize this text. These are the ones that we've predefined. You can tell I'm copying and pasting them in. And then once we've added them all in, I found that spacing was medium, but you can, for all of these things, you can see which one suits the best, however you want it to display. Also, wrap, probably not needed because most of them are short. And we mark it as required because it's needed in order to pass the AI. And that's it. That's the first part of our form. The next one is we're going to put a text input and we're going to call it, let's go back to the top, text input. These IDs here are important because we're going to refer to them later when we're building up our message in the webhook. Label, again, you can build it however you want. However, we're going to say, here's your text, please edit if required. You can edit this before it gets submitted. There we go. And our default value, this is the important part, we're going to show in this pop-up what we've got in our clipboard. So you click in this here, this X, and this gives you all the variables that you've got in your flow so far. And we want the one where we collect a clipboard text, so you just select it. And now it'll show in there. So that's good. And now we need a button to an OK cancel. And so we do that by adding two of these submit steps. The first one is going to be OK, and that will proceed. The second one is going to be cancel. Again, you do need to remember the IDs because we're going to refer to them at various stages of the flow in order to decide what to do when. And there we have it, this pop-up. When we invoke this flow via our shortcut, this pop-up will show asking us what we want to do with the text and showing us what the text is, giving us the opportunity to edit before we click OK, which you do here. I'm now going to copy the one I created earlier in so that I don't have to type them all in. So here we go. great feature of Power Automate Desktop is that you can right click on any step and you can copy and paste. So I've just copied this from elsewhere and now I have it here. So this form is the one we're going to have. And you'll see in the preview down here, it's got all of these different selections from this action input, all the different ones that we've predefined so that we know we want to send these as the actions we want to carry out for this text. So I'm going to save that and then move on. Now, we create a cancel button in here. If we do cancel, we want to go back to the start and continue waiting and wait for it to be triggered again. So to do that, if you go on to conditionals, you get various navigations, ifs then else statements. We're going to use a basic if, and we're going to say if the button pressed on this step, which you see there, is equal to, so we can leave that as it is. And if you remember, I used a capital C, cancel, save. And if that is the case, I want to go back up to this label. So this is where the label comes in, and I'm going to use a go to step. There it is. And it's straightforward for selecting the label. If there were more labels, they'd all show there. Okay, the next one. We're now at a point where we've got the action that the user wants to carry out against a chunk of text. So we've got everything that we need. However, we have found when we're building up the webhook that we needed to make sure we took out some of the special characters from that text. And we found that these two steps were the best ones. So the first one was replace text. So we're going to use the custom form data, which is all the information from that form. But we specifically want, and this is where we labeled our text input, we specifically want the text input. We want to find double quote, and we're going to replace it with single quote, and then save. That was one thing we found helped. Then we found that it was better to escape the whole text. So again, one thing you will notice in here is that when we've taken this data and done our replacement, we're putting it back into clipboard text. So it's now been changed and put back into clipboard text, which means from this point forward, we can carry on using clipboard text. And we're going to do an escape text, first of all. It's there. And the text we want to escape is now clipboard text again. And again, we're going to put that back into clipboard text. You could do separate variables and stages all the way along, and that might help with testing. I've just done it this way for simplicity. So now we've got clipboard text is our escaped text, and we're ready to build the message that we're going to send in our web service. To do that, we have to run some JavaScript. This is the only point at which our flow needs a little bit of code, which you need to copy and paste in. But to get the step in there, you can run JavaScript. That's very simple. And we need our JavaScript in here. So I'm going to, here's one I made earlier. So you'll be able to copy and paste this in, but this fundamentally is taking the text that we've got, and then it's going to take that text, putting it into this variable, and it's going to also take the action we want to carry out, which is that form again, but with the action input, actually should be lowercase, and it's going to run this JSON in order to make sure that the text will work and give us the text in the correct format to invoke the web service correctly. And it's as simple as that. We're now ready. We've got our JavaScript output is what we're going to put into our web service. So we're going to invoke a web service. See, that is it. There it is. You'll have, at this point, a hook URL to use. For us, in this case, we're using this one. And we want to post. We need to change these to be JSON. And then simply, we just want to put the request body as the JavaScript output because it's all been prepared for us with that JavaScript. And that's it. We save that. This is going to take the text, take the action we want carried out, send it to our webhook, to our API, talk to the AI, and then send us back the information that we want. Now, it will sometimes takes a little while, so we want to play a sound when it comes back. It'll only move on when it's come back. So you could set it to all sorts of sounds. I'm just going to be boring and set it to beep. So it will beep at me when that web service comes back. And when it does come back, what I want to be able to do is set what it returns with back onto the clipboard text. So this is the clipboard text in the system. So as if you Control-C'd it. So my clipboard text after this point is going to be my web service response. There you go. Text value of my web service response. save. So now at that point, I've got a beep and I've got in my ready to paste the answer that the AI has given me, the action that the AI has done for me. For the flow, one final step we want to do, because we want to leave the flow running so it'll work again the next time I trigger it with the shortcut key. I want to do another go to and send it back to the top of the flow. Start again. And then we click save and we're good to go. So let's see it working. Here I am on our Academy subscription page, all about our plans. And we've recently created the special lifetime membership. And obviously we try to make sure these pages make as much sense as possible. So I'm going to use this tool to do that. So first of all, normally we'd have this running, but first of all, I'm going to run our flow. I've got a couple of versions. I'm going to run the top one. It usually takes a few seconds for a flow to kick off, and then you'll be notified that it's running. I've just been notified. So now I can minimize this and carry on. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not happy with this text. I'd like to improve it. So I've just copied it into my clipboard, and I'm going to use my shortcut key, which is Control-Shift-Left arrow. Then I will get our nice pop-up. So here's my text, straight there. I don't need to edit it. I could edit it, but I don't need to. But I want the AI to improve the text for me, so I'm going to select that and then click OK. Now we're waiting for the beep. I don't know if you hear the beep on there, but I'll let you know when it comes. There we go. It's just beeped. Let's go to Notepad. So now that means it's in my clipboard, so I can just right-click and paste. And there it is. It's improved my text. It's another version. So that's one way. Another, it's going to take slightly longer, this one, but it's very good. I'm going to copy all of this section of this page. Copy, or I could do Control-C, of course. Use my shortcut key, Control-Shift-Left. Much bigger chunk of text this time. I'm going to ask for some emails. So I'm going to ask for some sales emails. Create me a set of sales emails about this. Okay, it will take longer. So it's obviously doing a lot of work. We're waiting for the bleep again. This, in the way we've got it set up, will give us a series of 3 sales emails for us to use as we see fit. Obviously, you don't always take the response immediately because it just gives you something to start from. Another great use for this that you could use is in a forum, many questions. You could copy the question, use your shortcut key, and ask for the answer and become a superstar at answering questions in forums. Bleep should come any moment. Get ready in my notepad. And there it is. It's given me 3 emails that I would have to review and ensure that they're accurate and they say what I want to say. Based on that information I've passed in, I can use each of these emails as a way to sell that subscription. And that's it.